Yo, what up? Time for another episode of Clash of Clans with Cheese. So, gonna do another war recap here. So, this last one, Clash was on fire. Some pretty good attacks. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go through 5 attacks I think I got here. Check out my list. Stuck to my arm. Yeah, I got 5 attacks that I'm going to go through, and then I'm also going to upload a video of just 2 of the GoWiWis that I did in kind of a separate batch and break those down a little bit more because it's my channel and I can do what I want. If I want to show off a little bit, I can do that. So, but yeah. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with a little Dragloon action from a new guy, Super Santa Man. Usually, it's like in the clan when people do the drag attacks, you usually don't do the lightning thing. But it's like on this base, it actually worked quite well. Because kind of how it was set up is he took out the one air defense that was a little bit hard to funnel to, but then on the top, kind of how he laid out his drags, it's like the drags have to funnel in to where those 2 ADs are. The loons didn't really do much of anything. I don't like, unless it's like a base where there's like, you have to funnel into, it's like really spread out and you have to funnel into the center with the loons. I don't like dropping the loons behind the drags. They always get out in front, and it's like on a base like this, I think another drag in the CC would have been better than loons. But it's like after that point, when you got to those ADs there, there's really nothing else that can stop it. So like obviously this isn't a big Town Hall 8, but still, it's like a pretty solid attack. I kind of with how it was laid out, I don't know if this could have gone any other way. So I mean, that's it's like looking for Town Hall 8 dragon attacks are usually pretty boring. But as long as there's like some good planning involved and there's some strategy, I think it's worth showing. A lot of the times if it's just like, you spam your drags and drop a bunch of loons with it without any plan for it, it doesn't make a very exciting video. But that one, pretty solid, pretty interesting. Usually not something that I would rate, but I liked it. And yeah, so it's like on one of the bases where I do appreciate the loons behind the drags. D Money, getting this in there, he's got the D for you. And kind of, like this one actually got a little bit close. The loons almost got away from him, but they ended up going into the center and did enough damage to take care of things. So Funnel could have waited until that mortar was down, but the CC troops came out and distracted everything. So it's like he waited till the drags were there before releasing the loons, but it just went a little bit sideways. But it all worked out in the end. So it's like, but still getting that line of drags up front, waiting until those mortars at least got locked on to, and the CC troops target onto the drags is a good thing to do. And then let those loons go wild in the center. And so I'm going to stick with the air attacks here, but I'm going to bump it up to the Town Hall 9s with the Boss. The Boss doing it in the air. And yeah, so it's like with this one, 9 drags and 8 loons, and each one of those loons knows where it's going. So starting out, kind of the same deal with making sure the funnel comes in right and the drag's all kind of laid out proper. And there's I don't know, I guess on the base here, it's like 8 o'clock. There's the air defense that's right out onto the side. And that's going to get some loons for it. And the heroes, a lot of tests popping up there. And then the BK is going to get the one on like the 9 o'clock side. The loons right now getting dropped up around 2 o'clock where that other dragon is. And so, yeah, like really tactical, really well played out. And there was just plenty left over after all the AD was gone. And the space just never had a chance. So, yeah, for you know, it's like usually you don't see very many good bases for a Dragloon at Town Hall 9, but when it's laid down proper, I mean, I'm not sure that how many drags did he lose? He still has 4, 5, 6, 7. Maybe he lost 2 drags and a few balloons. So yeah, definitely strong to quite strong. So that was the boss. And 5. Who was this? Schrodinger's attack. Yeah, so a pretty dumb Town Hall 10, but it has some pretty strong point defenses, and it does have 3 expos. Even though they are level 1, there are 3 bows. And so this was a pretty powerful GoWiWi attack, and I like how he spreads out the witches starting out, so they're not all clumped up in the center. A little bit less risky that way, I think. And he just goes right in there, not caring about the CC troops. And yeah, what a mess. Drops the heal and the rage over them. And yeah, pretty interesting there. There's a lot of whiz in the center there. So would have been nice if some of them could have gotten out with the queen. And so something kind of happens in the center here. So he does have a jump spell, but he's a little bit late on it. So, you know, kind of waited a couple of seconds, and then there that goes. And I'm not sure that it was intentional in that sense, but it gave it enough time for the whiz to actually beat their way out around the left side. And that gets them in front of the queen and kind of spreads it out a little bit, so there's not just a ton going straight forward. And I think that that's going to turn out to be pretty important into the end. One thing that's pretty unfortunate is that there's 2 golems, the dumb bricks that they are, just kind of beaten off around the 2 o'clock portion over there. So it looks like they're kind of out of it and not going to be very important, but it's actually pretty funny what happens with them. So it's like they're over there and we're getting taken down by stuff, and they're actually going to take down a lot of the defenses, and not because of their attacks. So that those ones go down by just beating on it, but then these ones, their splash damage almost takes down that one archer tower. So now there's the 2 golemites, the big one. They get to this guy and pop as soon as that big golem goes down, and they take care of the rest of the defenses. So golems, they were the real MVP on that one. And yeah, so cheers to the dumb bricks that were just cracking off on a wall, but came through in the end. So yeah, and Denzel, gonna get Denzel. Actually, maybe we should give Denzel a break. Storm and Norman, we're gonna get Storm and Norman on here. Stormin'. And so yeah, Town Hall 10, 3 rage, 2 freeze. Starting off from the bottom, and gets the golems in there, and waiting, and there go the whiz. So yeah, so that's kind of the start of the attack there. Had 4 P.E.K.K.A.s with him, and I think he actually might have had a 5th in the CC. So very P.E.K.K.A. heavy, ground heavy, which I actually kind of like. You know, it's like for the 2 Infernos that are both set to multi, I don't have anything against going in there with a lot of really strong P.E.K.K.A.s, because the Inferno Towers aren't going to do as much damage. It would have been nice to have, you know, like a couple of witches in there for going in and beating up the CC troops, because those archers took forever for the P.E.K.K.A.s to get through. But the Town Hall is done, and all of his troops are still in the middle. So yeah, the CC P.E.K.K.A. gets dropped kind of on the 8 o'clock portion of the base down there, and that's just going to go and get the 2-star. So this all went so fast in the center, I guess with the freeze spell as well, but there's still the 2 whiz and some arch. There's some archers still cranking off on the golemites over there too. So it was a really interesting attack. Usually, you know, it's like if you get a pretty high percentage 2-star, there aren't going to be any clan castle troops. Usually if there's clan castle troops left over at the end of a raid, you screw it up pretty bad, but not the case here. So yeah, a pretty respectable raid, ending up in the high 70s, mid 70s, high 70s, and there were still CC troops left over. So yeah, and so that was pretty much that war. We came on pretty strong, and kind of respect to Clashers on Fire. They ended up showing up, used most of their attacks, I guess. So that was nice. And yeah, easy peasy. This is the war that we're on right now, and I think that this is going to be a great war. Sometimes you could just kind of tell looking at the bases. It's like if it's going to be a tight war or not. A little bit of banter back and forth. So yeah, we're all kind of hulked out, ready for this one, and yeah. So if any of you guys post my channel, after war starts. So if any of you guys see this, drop a comment, whatever. Good luck on the war. All right, dudes. Later.